Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to a show where myself and Owen are going to be discussing Sean Dyche's tenure as Everton manager so far. It's been about a month and a half that Sean Dyche has been in the dugout at Everton. We've overseen so far. He's picked up 11 points out of I think it's about 7 or 8 games.
Yeah, 11 out of 24, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So like I say, it's a mixed bag in terms of results, but when you consider what came before, it's looking better than it was. I've got Owen with me, of course, and Owen knows as much about Sean Dyche as I think anybody on this planet. So I've got the right man with me to talk tactics on Sean Dyche. Um, we discussed obviously in the Chelsea game about how the mentality is one of the many things he's changed. But what else have you witnessed like under Sean Dyche so far? That's helped us improve.
Yeah, I don't want to um sort of speak from a bubble here, but I think he's done an incredible job so far. I really do. I cannot think of a single manager in the world who would have done better than what Sean Dyche has done so far. I think he has done really, really, really well. Not just the results, which have been excellent, but the manner of which he's changed the mood around the football club. I think he was right in saying there was a lot of, he calls it noise around the football club in January, and it felt really, really bad. I don't know about you, but I hated going from one day to the next before he came here, and what he's done has been amazing. I can't speak highly enough of him, to be honest, in terms of what he's done. I think the performances have been excellent, apart from the second half for Arsenal. And yeah, I think we're reasonably close. I think we're 2 or 3 wins, a few draws here and there away from doing it. And I think if we show the resilience like we did on Saturday, we will do it. And there's not a single doubt in my mind that if we changed the manager after before the World Cup, like I said at the time we should do, we would be already still
It'd be
in the Premier League
gritty
next
now.
year. We'd be like on the beach. We would, and I think that's incredibly annoying. But it's also a testament to how well he's done, and yeah, that's just the headline from. I think he's done incredibly well. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think I said at the time when we were in the process of appointing Sean Dyche that I was pretty much convinced we were gone. But if anyone was going to be our hope to maybe stay up, it was going to be Sean Dyche. He was the only one that would have given me hope that we could do it, and so it's transpired. I think you got a spot on there. He said, "I don't think there's another manager in European football that could have had the impact that he's had so far.
No, I
Implemented
genuinely don't think there is.
the correct methods, the correct. He says the correct things in his
Definitely.
presses as well. I think that's a big talking the talk as big as walking the walk sometimes in the Premier League these days. The amount of bloody microphones that get shoved in the faces and the amount of nonsense. Let's be honest, that some of the journalists spout and. I saw one just after the Chelsea game, like a load of London football journalists saying about what about the very hard foul where Tarkowski failed someone to the floor, and he goes, "Oh, I didn't see that. I mustn't have noticed that one." Just
He
like
clearly did.
he just brushes it, but it's the way he takes things in its stride. It's like he's seen the lot and he's been through this scenario
Yeah,
many, many
most
times
years.
before,
Yeah.
more than anybody else probably who isn't.
Unless Sam Allardyce or Tony Pulis.
But then we're talking like washed up dinosaurs. We're talking like he's
Yeah,
only like 50 or what, isn't he? So
yeah, no,
we're not talking
they've
like
been going a while, haven't they?
yeah, like he's in probably as far as managers go, it's probably sort of prime age for a manager about 50.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So we're not talking like dinosaurs here. He's got the modern twists that you need to cope with the Premier League, but he's also
Not
got that
just
old school side to him.
not just that. The old school side, I think, is a bit. overstated. I don't think he's that old school at all. But I think there's a tendency for football clubs, and I think we can contrast this between the appointments made by clubs in the last season. Okay, so we look Gerrard, Lampard, um, Vieira, um, what else are we talking?
Hold on one sec. I've just got a bit of
Yes.
an issue with the camera. One sec.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all
All right,
about.
I'll go. I'll go from the start.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So the old school thing, obviously, for me is a bit overrated. I don't think he's that old school at all. But if you have a look and compare the appointments made by clubs this season to last season, I think the whole idea is starkly improved, to be honest, because you look at last season's sort of cabal of Lampard, Gerrard, Marsh, Vieira, um, who else was there? There's just loads of dreadful appointments off the top of my head. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. This is
Nuno was one in the beneath. Generally quite depressing appointments in the Premier League last year. That to me made very little sense, but there was just an awful lot of fuss about them because they are bold and exciting and the brave new world and they're going to solve everything. But if you have a look at pretty much all of them have lost the job trying to play the right way.
we're all hopeless, to be honest with you. Let's be
Yeah,
how it was.
yeah. Dean Smith and one of Norwich. These people were all going to change the world, and I think they pretty much all lost the job within a year. And now you can fast forward a year, and then you've seen Unai Emery replace Gerrard's proper manager. Doesn't like try and overstate what he does. It's pretty just well organised, pretty sensible football. You look at Javi Gracia going in at Leeds, and he's made them a lot more resolute. They had a big win on the weekend, but there's been a lot more 1-0s, 0-0s. You have a look at what we could mention.
Got
Palace, they've
Palace. You got Hodgson. Looked like he could go back there.
Roy's going
Allardyce
back in.
maybe.
I think it's going to be Roy. But if you have a look, they let Roy retire in quote unquote 18 months ago to let Patrick Vieira come in and change the world. And all he's done is take them from a club that was safe at the end of January every year, spending no money, to a club that spent a bit more money. And now I've got 10 games to save the Premier League status with a load of other clubs. And they've gone back to eventually try and go forwards. But there's loads of examples of it, just clubs just making bad decisions last year, and in my opinion, good decisions this year. And I think, I think honestly, I think the only appointment you could say really revolutionised the club from last year was Howe at Newcastle,
Yeah, and to be honest, that surprised me as well because
and that was the one you were probably
how
thinking.
I was probably the one that I was expecting to fall into the Lampard, Vieira, Gerrard category
I think
himself.
we as a football fandom were very harsh on Eddie Howe because he did a very good job at Bournemouth, but fell in the last hurdle. Not too dissimilar to Dyche, to be honest. Although he got given a lot more money and
I think it was the
achieved a lot
money that
less in the
put me
Premier
off
League.
how, to be honest with you. It was the
Mm.
soft
Recruit,
transfers, the silly transfers he made, like
yeah, me
Brad
too.
Smith and Solanke and whatnot.
They weren't all free transfers as well. They were about 20 million quid a pop, weren't they?
Exactly, some of them were absolutely absurd, but
Yeah, but fair play to him. He's the only one from that sort of cabal that has done anything. And you look at this year's who have just reeled off then. have done or will do a lot better than the manager they're replacing. And Dyche definitely falls into that camp of a sensible, no nonsense, wise, ambitious, modern manager who gets his teams playing a certain way, and they're difficult to play. It's not a secret to anyone that I've been a admirer of Sean Dyche's for a long time. I could see the rationale behind what he does, why he does it, how he's overachieved, the spend going out, the costs coming in, the players developed, the achievement from taking a pretty humble Lancashire team from the bottom end of the Championship until Europe and the top half, and 7 seasons in the Premier League with no help in the transfer market. I mean, if you don't look at that and if you're not impressed by that, then I mean, I don't. You're going to have to go some way to be impressed. But he is um, a top manager. And I think we're quite lucky to have him because I think there's been quite a few changes in manager that's happened since we've got Dyche, and I think the other all snapped their hands off for him, given what he's done here and what I think he can continue to give us. I think he's given the fan base something to cling on to in terms of we might not be in relegation battles every year if we stay up. And I think I don't know about you, but I felt with Frank Lampard that we were always still going to be in a relegation battle this season with him because he wasn't up to it tactically.
Didn't I wasn't 100% convinced on that, but come like a certain stage of this season, you just knew that that was going to be the case, and that for me that was like in the run up to that World Cup, the defeats to Bournemouth, and that should have that was when my mind was made up about Lampard that it should have changed, and it would have been the right time, but obviously
Yeah,
our hierarchy didn't agree, and I think that's
give
probably one of
give
the
him.
many reasons why there's still protests ongoing before every home game because I
Yeah,
think a lot of fans are
agree.
probably in the same boat as us and they're spitting feathers that that decision wasn't made. And if
If
it
we
was, we might have been in a far better position, as you say. So
if we're being honest, I made my mind up on Frank Lampard about 3 weeks into his Everton career, to be honest. But he got given a lot of chances, Frank Lampard. He went through some absolutely horrific runs of form. I think he ended up with a 19% win record. I'm not sure that's
oh,
ever
that's
been
pathetic
matched.
for any club,
Yeah,
that isn't it?
he won a few cup games, which boosted it a bit, but in the Premier League, I think it was roughly about 19%.
That's probably like Paul Jewell's Derby levels of
Yeah,
bad,
I
isn't
think
it?
Paul got higher at Derby. It was really shocking. We're talking Remy Gardner, Aston Villa stuff. I think that's what, and he did that on the basis of the whole year. His only kind of win came in a 1 month spell, towards the end of last season.
When the fans were like hiding the
Otherwise, it'd have
numbers
been
up
about
the
8%. He was truly shocking. He was, without a doubt, in my opinion, the worst manager we've ever had in terms of just ability to coach a team. I think a lot of people will point Benitez out, but I don't think you can deny Benitez's long-standing history of being able to put half decent teams out. So whether we think he's overrated or rubbish or a cop-out or whatever, I would still, if you put the two managers together on a touchline, I would probably even still now back Rafa Benitez to just come out on top. But with Lampard, I think this is pretty much finishing him. And people seeing what Sean Dyche has managed to achieve so far with the same group of players, and actually a worse group of players because you don't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin fit, and Star Boy's on Newcastle's bench now, isn't he? Who
oh yeah, of course.
was
But
like probably advantage Dyche.
obviously we'll wrap it up. But like going over the obviously what this international break we're going into now, 2 weeks, another 2 weeks for hopefully to Dyche to continue implementing his methods, and that might just stand us in good stead for the final run in because we've got some difficult games coming up, and we're going to have to show the resilience that we've began to show many more times, I think, before the fight's won or lost, whatever way it ends up. But whatever happens, I think we've just got a lot more hope under Sean Dyche than we could have had under anyone else.
Yeah, totally agree. We've had some really horrible fixtures as well, by the way.
Yeah, the
I
ones
don't think
he's seen so far are tough.
with only Leeds has been a bit of a gimme, hasn't it? The rest have been, yeah, Brentford, Villa. Arsenal twice, Liverpool, Chelsea. I tell you what, I wouldn't want them fixtures, and I think to take us from 19th to 15th with them fixtures, oh, I couldn't be further off to him. I think he's a fantastic football manager, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves, and hasn't for a very long time.
I'm sure. I think
We've
we'll be
got
more than giving him. We'll be more than giving him
we've
credit
got a
when.
real tendency in this country, as for football Twitter essentially. I know we joked off Pulis and Allardyce as a bit of dinosaurs a minute ago, given their age and that. But we've got a history over about 20 years of underappreciating these type of people who end up spending 3 or 4 years at a football club. Keep it no fuss, no drama and overachieving. And we've got a tendency to overhype good PR, well spoken, well groomed managers like Marsh and Lampard.
It's old Martinez more than
Yeah,
anyone.
yeah, who aren't very good. But yeah, I think that'll never change. But whilst there's people like me moaning on the internet, I don't think it's likely the narrative's likely to be lost
No,
too much.
let's be honest. The old those sort of not old school such, but those
They
underappreciated
are,
man
yeah.
those
Allardyce is
underappreciated
a good
managers will always be a decent fit for Everton, provided the personalities are right.
man.
And I
Yeah, I
think
think that was
Sean
the issue
Dyche
with
is
Allardyce.
exactly, but I think Sean Dyche has proven to be a good fit, and that's why we're moving in the right direction. Just hopefully we're moving in it quickly enough to stay out of danger.
Yeah, and just a quick word to these fools and these idiots who are just surfacing from the dark corners of the internet who are moaning and complaining about his style of play. For one, I've never been more entertained than I have been the past month. And B, if you really think we're in the position to even be contemplating a style of play when we're in a relegation battle with 2 months left of the season, then quite politely get your head out your arse and start realizing the position we're in and stop being a dickhead on the internet. That's my advice.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, when all said and done, there's no need to think about that. If there's a battle to be won, and Sean Dyche is our best chance of winning it at the end of the
I
day.
I, I apologize for the strong language, but it really does irritate me listening to these people who talk a lot about the game but don't know a lot about it. Wanted Frank Lampard to replace Carlo Ancelotti, who said he underachieved and he was a boring old dinosaur. And then 2 years later, it's back to back. We've been in a relegation battle, and you got the manager once who won 19%, and you're still talking now. And yeah, and we're in the bottom, and we're still in the bottom of the league, and the manager who's taken us out of it, you're moaning about. I mean, will you just honestly take a stock to where we're at, where you are, where your opinions have been at for the past 2 years, and just politely shut up and deactivate your account? And then, like these idiots on Twitter who write on Boxing Day, if Everton dare sack Frank Lampard and replace him with Sean Dyche, I would cancel my season ticket. Well,
So cancel it then. Go and cancel it now.
I hope he did
I'll have
cancel
it.
it.
I'll have it. Actually, want to go to the match again because of Sean Dyche.
Yeah, I hope he did cancel it. Honestly,
I'll take it off his hands.
me quick rant about these idiots are over, and yeah, I think
Well, what?
overall though, I think there was a clip I posted on Twitter about 3 weeks ago that asked what it said, what would you rate Sean Dyche's time or ever out of 10? And I clicked up when, do you remember when Allardyce got asked in this press conference about the survey he got, and he said, what would you give yourself out of 10? And Allardyce went, 11.
Yeah.
I posted that up, 11.
To be fair though, like it's been a good start, and long may it continue.
Yeah, totally is. We've got a job to do still, and we haven't sorted it. But I'm a lot more confident going forward, no matter what division we are in with Dyche than it would be any other manager.
Without a doubt. Leave it there anyway. As you can tell, I think we're both giving Sean Dyche the seal of approval, in case you were ever in any doubt about that. Of course, let us know your opinions, guys. Get your comments coming in. Let us know whether you're in the same camp as Owen and I, and if not, let us know what you think the drawback to Sean Dyche are. But yeah, I'm sure we can all agree that it's been a good start so far, and fingers crossed that we can win the battle and stay up. But yeah, get your comments coming in, give us a like and subscribe for more content. Till next time, guys. Thanks for watching on the Toffee Blues.